Hello guys, welcome to another video. And first of all, I would like to say that I have a Discord server. The link to it will be in the description, and the link to the original post will also be in the description. That being said, let's get into the video. Son of the Sannin, Chapter 13 and Part 13, Academy Days, Part 1. Or going to a ninja school isn't as fun as it looks. 9 years after the Kobir attack, fortunately for Konoha and its inhabitants, the danger caused by the Uchiha coup d'etat wasn't as severe as one caused by the Kobir, both in terms of human death, and property destruction. In a few weeks, Konoha was functioning like normal, even if it was forced were constantly forces were considerably weak. Still, Jiraiya made an effort to make the village look strong and did not stop or even slow down the flow of missions. One of Konoha's instruction that was also looked back to normal was the academy. It was the beginning of or a new school year, and Jiraiya educational reforms were starting to take effect, namely the fact that quite a few students, especially those born from civilian families, found the new academy way too hard and moved to civilian schools. Still, there were at least three new faces to replace some of the dropouts. Welcome back once again to the academy, kids. At least those who passed last year's exam. Before we begin, we have three new students that moved recently to Konoha. Why don't you introduce yourself? First on to take a step forward was a girl with shoulder length red hair, red eyes, and glasses. Hello, my name is Karin Uzumaki. I haven't been much time in Konoha, but I like this place so far and wish to be a ninja. Karin said, "Hey, I'm an Uzumaki too," Naruto exclaimed, waving his hand at her. Where have you been all this time? Naruto, please don't interrupt. Iruka startedly claimed, "You can talk with Karin later if you wish. Now you want to go sit. Now, who wants to go next?" This time a girl with long brown hair took a step forward. "Hi everybody, my name is Takumi. I used to live with my grandma in an abandoned city, but she thought it would be good for me to move here. I obviously want to be a ninja, and well, I love cats." Takumi had a dismissive snort in response. She didn't even know where it came from, but many people realized it was Kiva, who looked at the girl with contempt. Without waiting for Iruka to tell him anything, the last new member introduced himself. "Hello, my name is Haku Yuki. I'm from the land of water. People like me aren't well liked there, so I am staying in Konoha until things get better." Yagao and Hayato had told him not to mention his relationship with Zabuza to people who didn't know about it already, at least for the time being. "You look like nice people, and I am eager to meet all of you." Shino raised an hand. "Yes, Shino," Iruka asked. "I wish to ask Haku-san something, if it is okay with that. If it's okay with that. Of course, I am sure that Haku will be glad to answer any question you might have about him." Still, Iruka looked at Haku for an approval. The kid silently nodded. Him respected many voice in disbelief. Many questions does not prevent his gender. Received many questions does not prevent his gender. Shino classified before adjusting his shades. "You said that people like you aren't welcome in the land of water. Does that mean that you have a bloodline limit?" "Yes, I possess the ice release bloodline," Haku replied in natural tone, used to make his inner worry. "But you don't have to worry. Here in Konoha, nobody will hate you for such an ability." Iruka deserted the gull-looking boy. "Now that you have introduced yourself, go and take a seat." Takumi sat on the empty seat beside a board. Shikamaru Haku took an empty seat in the first row. Karin was about to sit beside Naruto and Hinata, but something else caught her attention, namely Sasuke Uchiha's good looks, and fortunately for her, there was an empty seat beside him. Naruto's face dropped when Karin chose to sit with his rival instead of him. Her family. Sasuke acknowledged Karin with a sigh. The red-haired then noticed that another girl that Sasuke's other side with long pink hair was glaring daggers at her. Maybe you should try sitting somewhere else, Karin, a voice said from the upper table. Karin turned around and saw a uh, blonde looking at her. Well, I can see what surprised separated you to sit beside Sasuke. You might know that he comes from a clan of traitors and murderers. It can't be safe being near him. I'm sure you will be better with Naruto. He's your family after all. Sasuke did not seem to react to the blonde's hateful words, but the pink skeleton beside him surely did. Kenneth, Sasuke had nothing to do with the coup d'etat, and you know it. Stop being such an idiot to him already. Oh yeah, Sasuke lost his clan. Boo hoo hoo. Maybe they should have thought that before trying to take over Konoha. Enough, you two. Iruka blurted, silencing the front seducing girls. I'm not going to tolerate that kind of talk, okay? Yes, the Uchiha Kudeta was a dark day in this village story, but here harboring registration won't be of any help. Haku was starting to understand why he was told to keep his ties with Zabuza secret. Takimi, sorry, Tamiki however, wasn't defined by Ino's word. Her family had always been a spiritual ally of the Uchiha clan, and he would show his support to Sasuke. His good looks did not hurt either. Alright, now that we calmed down, let's start. Open your tools to the ninja book. Open your books of the ninja book on page 3. Jiraiya was working tirelessly in his office as usual, even with the aid of a couple of shadow clones. It seemed that paperwork would never end. He really missed the amount of free time he used to have back then, which he spent either training Naruto, Hanage, and Kaede or spending quality time with his wife. Now those moments were far scarce. Letting out a frustrated sigh, he decided to take a break, or that a break was in order, though the clone continued working. He opened a drawer and pulled out the as of yet unfinished draft of his new Icha Icha volume. Process had been slow, so he better hurry up and finish this one. He hated to make his loyal fans restless, however, there was something in the drawer that caught the Hokage's attention. His very first novel. He grabbed it and remembered he had with his godson some months ago. Flashback. Somebody knocked on the door of Joraiya's office. Come in, Joraiya shouted. He was relieved to have a little break from the endless mountain of paperwork. Much to his surprise, his godson entered the office. Jiraiya's smile grew even wider. Naruto, great to see you here. Did you come here to see your old man at his new job? Naruto smiled back. More or less. Well, that I have a few questions that I think only you can answer. Jorah leaned back on his chair and crossed his hands over his lap. Well, what's that I am here for? Well, that's what I am here for. What kind of trouble do you have? Is something wrong with the academy? With your mother? Is it a girl you like? Of course, it's a girl. No, it's none of that. Naruto cut him off before he could come up with more ridiculous theories. He finished something for one of his pocket. He fished something from one of his pockets and handed to Jiraiya. The surprised Sannin saw that it wasn't just his very first book, but the one he gave to Minato as a gift. Jiraiya's operation to darken Naruto. Where did you find this? In the underground shelter inside a box, Naruto replied. That book was so good, so much better than stuff you write nowadays. Why didn't you tell me about it before? And why don't you write more books like this one? I see. To answer your question, could say that I forgot about it. Joraya sighed heavily. First, there's the fact that the book hardly sold. You and your father were the only people who gave me any kind of positive feedback. People who dislike your book were morons, Naruto bluntly stated. And second, this book reminded me of your father too much, and the life he will never have, thanks to the QV and and that Marx bust that nearly killed Tsunade Hime. I thought that I was over it, but after all these years, the pain still persists. I see. Sorry for bringing up the and Naruto said, averting his glare. Jiraiya forced himself to smile. Hey, it's okay. It's not that you knew about it. I would have done the same thing in your situation. By the way, what else did you saw in the book? Nothing too interesting except a bunch of old pictures. Naruto answered, but now I am too afraid to ask. And don't be. Jorah assured, what kind of pictures? Well, the ones in which you and mom were young and a couple of my birth parents, but then there was this one with you and three kids that I did not recognize. Who were the three kids? A redhead, and a brunette, and a brunette. Jiraiya asked. Naruto nodded. Those were a trio of orphans from the hidden drain that I taught ninjutsu and several skills for 2 years back during the Second War. What's happened with them? The last time I heard of them, they formed some sort of freedom fighting group and were about to face the leader of the hidden drain. I never knew anything about them after that. Bastards are probably the poor bastards are probably burned 2 meters underground now. I see. The poor bastards are probably buried 2 meters under now. The poor bastards are probably burned 2 meters under the ground. Sorry, I repeated that part so many times. I just couldn't understand. Sorry about that. Let's get it back into the story. I see. No wonder you want to forget about the contents of the box. Yeah, that box is kind of a compilation of all my failures, isn't it? Jorah said, almost chuckling. Me. That's me, the master that ends up surviving his students. But hey, if it's for any console, you know that such a thing won't happen with me, Naruto boldly declared. Besides, you did plenty of good things too. I mean, you're Hokage. How many people can say that? Jiraiya couldn't help but smile at his godson's unwavering optimism. Yeah, life didn't turn out so bad, did it? He married the girl of his dreams, had 2 kids, besides Naruto, both of them who had rare bloodline limits, despite neither him nor Tsunade was possessing any, and even if it was something that he did not want, he was the leader of Konoha. You know what, Naruto? I think you have a point. The son chuckled. He then looked at the book, and I think that maybe this book deserves a second chance. End of flashback. Jiraiya was snapped out of his thoughts when somebody knocked on the door. After telling the stranger to come in, the door opened to reveal the person he was expecting to meet, Itachi Uchiha. You summoned me, Hokage-sama. Itachi asked. Jiraiya nodded and mentioned him to take a seat. First of all, I am aware of how much you sacrificed for the village, and what I am going to ask you may seem a bit too much, so don't be afraid to decline my proposal if you aren't up to the task. With all due respect, Hokage-sama, but if I that was the case, then I wouldn't be a ninja to begin with, especially now that I'm a jonin. The Uchiha replied, "Just tell me what you want, and I will do it, and it will be done. Your devotion to the village is admirable. Okay, here it goes. As you probably know, I used to be Sarutobi Sensei's main informant during his second tensor. During that time, I built a spy network across the elemental nation. However, due to my new responsibility, I cannot leave the village as often as I could in the past, and so I need somebody whom I can trust to take care of this task. And you thought of me for it, Itachi guessed the Hokage nodded right, considered it done. Are you sure? Keep in mind that this job sometimes involves leaving the village for a long period of time. You won't be able to spend much time with your little brother as in the past. Thanks for your concern, but I can assure you that it won't be a problem. Sasuke does not seem to be very eager to talk to me, even spend time with me. Maybe I should give him some space. And this job might be good for me as well. I see that you made up your mind. If that's the case, meet me tomorrow at 5 o'clock sharp so I can teach you about your new occupation. You are dismissed. Later at lunchtime, Naruto and Hinata were sitting on a bench enjoying their food and each other's company while they looked other kids playing, talking, or eating their lunches as well. Naruto's eyes were particularly fixed on Karin, and much to his dismay, the red hair refused to abandon Sasuke's side. Man, this sucks. I found a lost clan member, and she has to spend the time with that idiot Naruto ground. I'm sure that Karin-san will be more than glad to meet you. Naruto can just wait for the right moment to introduce yourself. Hinata shrugged. Man, what does that idiot have that all the girls flock around him? Naruto complained. It almost seems that a higher being sent Kami to Konoha to fill vacant spot now that she doesn't fawn over Sasuke anymore. It almost seems that a higher being sent Karin to Konoha to fill Ino's vacant spot now that she does not fawn over Sasuke anymore, Naruto angrily said. Hinata couldn't help but giggle at Naruto's comment. Well, Sasuke son, some girls like his looks as well as his strength, Hinata explained. Man, I'm so glad that at least you don't go after him like other girls, Naruto said, smiling at Hinata. I would hate to lose you to him. Hinata blushed a bit. You don't have to worry about that, Naruto-kun. You are my friend. I will always be at your side. Speaking of friends, maybe we should befriend the new guys. Naruto shrugged. I mean, not only they are new, but they aren't even from Konoha, so I doubt they have any friends here already. I don't see why not. The three of them look like nice people. Cool. Well, Karin Nichan is out of the question since he is with that idiot. So, however, Tamaki. Naruto shrugged as he scanned the playground with his eyes trying to track her. I like cats too. Maybe I should use that to approach her. Hinata asked both to herself and Naruto. Oh, there she is. Naruto finally located the cat Konoichi, and much to his dismay, she walked towards Sasuke. Oh, come on. She too. Besides, Sasuke isn't even paying attention. Maybe we should approach the boy of the land of water. Hinata meekly suggested he is sitting all alone in that bench. I swear if he was actually a girl, he would be trying to get Sasuke's attention too. Naruto meandered with a crown. Oh, I think you don't know this, but Haku's adopted dad helped the Uchiha in the coup d'etat. Know this, but Haku's adopted dad helped the Uchiha in the coup d'etat. Hinata was taken back. He did? Yeah. And he's in prison now. Dad was planning to have him executed, but changed it to jail time with the condition of Haku being a Konoha ninja. I see. Hinata said, from the obvious reason that merely mention of the Akudeta caused her great sorrow. On second thought, maybe we shouldn't talk to him. No, no, no. Hinata quickly said, we shouldn't judge other based on actions they are not responsible of. Thanks to the cage bird seal, the branch house Hyugas were forced to carry Hinata, no, were forced to carry. Hinata knew very well what it feels to personally accuse of something people close to you did. She remembered times when branch house members used to look at her with pure scorn, as well as muttering under their breath things Hinata could not hear but could imagine. Fortunately, things got better over time as Brown's house Hyugas got to know Hinata better. Once they finished their lunch, they approached Haku, who just finished eating as well and was putting the remaining of his bento in his backpack. Hi, Haku-kun. Haku. Naruto enthusiastically greeted. I am Naruto Uzumaki, and this is my friend Hinata Hyuga. We would like to know you better if it's okay with you. Can we sit with you? The Hyuga asked. Haku smiled with no, you. Sure, I can use some company. The ice ninja moved aside so Naruto and Hinata could sit, and I think it will be good if I get to know some people here already. Great. Naruto sat down. Hinata did like wish. Likewise, you said you have a bloodline limit, right? I also have a bloodline limit too, but it's different from you. Hinata mentioned, really interested. Do you mind telling me more? My bloodline limit is called the Byakugan. It allows me to see through solid objects, gives me a 360-degree vision, and I can see people's chakra pathway system. It sounds mostly interesting, Haku said uh, with smiling. Like I said before, my bloodline limit is ice release. I can combine wind chakra and water chakra to create ice. Look, Haku placed his hand as if he was grabbing an invisible ball, forcing his chakra to create a small snowball that formed in mid-air. Naruto and Hinata watched the display, eyes widen in fascination. Wow, that was so cool, Naruto praised. You think so? Of course. Why would we lie? Hinata asked. Well, it's that if I did this in my country, some people would want to kill me. Is that how you lost your parents? Hinata asked. Then she meaningly chained herself to not to realize that she was dealing with a sensitive topic. Fortunately for her, Haku did not seem to mind. Yes, our neighbors assaulted our family shortly after I awakened my powers. Guess that somebody saw me. I lost my entire family that day, Haku explained, augmenting the most horrifying deal, mainly his father's role. And then you met Zabuza, Naruto said matter of factly. Haku was taken aback by the bluntness statement. He normally relaxed, passive tense. How do you? My dad's the Hokage. There's little going on the village. That there's little going on this village that I am not aware of. Naruto proudly said, while being the Hokage's son gave him access to quite some privileged information. His status was an aggression. I see. In that case, I must ask you to not tell anybody about Zabuza-sama. I am afraid that it may make my status here 10 more unpleasant. Don't worry, your secret is safe with us, right, Hinata? The blonde asked. Blonde, the blonde, brunette nodded in return. By the way, do you have a bloodline limit as well? Haku asked. "Oh, what? Oh, no, I don't have that, but I'm a Jinchuriki, you know. Normally, that wasn't something he would be proud of, but Haku and Hinata talking about their bloodlines made him feel a bit left out and wanted to show something that made him special, even if that was a curse. A Jinjuriki? Yeah, it's a. I know what a Jinjuriki is. Haku cut him off before he could explain his condition. You do? Yes, the current Mizukage is on. Naruto was suddenly started-eyed. Really? That's so cool. If he is the Kage, then it's not cool. Haku suddenly yelled. Naruto was taken aback and Hinata flinched. Why isn't Haku-kun? The Hyuga fearfully asked. The reason people like me are hated. He's ruining Kirigakure, and the whole country. That's why Sama wanted to depose him. Haku angrily shouted. Then again, Haku wasn't aware or was dismally ignored Zabuza's own ambition of becoming Mizukage. Upon seeing Naruto and Hinata's face, Haku quickly regained his composure. I'm sorry for that outburst. You have nothing to do with my play, plight. Don't think that I hate all Jinjuriki because one ruined my life. Naruto-kun, it's okay. Naruto said with his trademark grin. Hey guys, what? Hey, guess what? When I become Hokage, I will talk some sense into that Mizukage, so it's safe for you to go back to your home. I thank you, Naruto-kun. I appreciate your generosity. Haku sighed. If it was only that easy. By the way, I would like to know how strong you are. Want to spar against us? Naruto asked. That sounds nice, Naruto-kun. That's why I can also measure how strong you are. Later that day, once the academy was over, Naruto bade Hinata and Haku goodbye and headed home. While he usually was eager to return and train with one of his parents or Shizune in case both of them were practically busy, it wasn't the case anymore. Jiraiya had started to in, insult insert him in Fuinjutsu, something Naruto found horribly tenuous. Still, the Toad says insisted, claiming that it was Naruto's cultural inheritance. Whatever that meant, that and the fact that it was incredibly useful art that not many people bothered to master. Naruto could clearly see exactly exactly why. While Naruto enjoyed the idea of being able to make his own explosion tags among other things, doing jutsu training overall wasn't very stimulating. Hey Naruto, a female voice snapped as a Jinchuriki from his thoughts. Turned around, he smiled to see it was Karin, who was running towards him. The blonde smiled. Hey Karin Nichan. Karin stopped when she was close to Naruto and gasped for air. Hey, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for ignoring you earlier. I got distracted. Yeah, it's common with Sasuke, Naruto said, grinning. So, you are an Uzumaki? Yep, I'm on my mother's side, I see. You're my mother, and I thought that we were the only Uzumaki left. We traveled a lot and never stayed on the same place for more than a month, as long as I remember, and never once ran into another Uzumaki. Funny thing, I also thought that I was the only Uzumaki left. It's so great that we are both wrong. Indeed, the reason we came here was because of Tsunade, who my mother says has Uzumaki blood. And would protect us? She is my adopted mother. She took care of me alongside dad, who is the current Hokage when my birth parents died. I believe did it because she was related to my birth mother in some way. It's a good thing then, Karin said, adjusting her glasses. Would you like to come to my house later today? I'm sure my mom would love to meet another family member. Yeah, And maybe another day you can come to my house to meet my family. They aren't Uzumaki except mom, but I'm sure you will like them. That sounds like fun. A few months later, Naruto entered the classroom. Entire class wasn't at the academy, but on a training ground seventh, which had quite a lot of trees, and thus it was popular for drill Shikimishi in Land of Fire. Their newest sensei, a tall man, a clan in blue, whose eyes were covered by sunglasses similar to Shino, who wore a bandana-style headband, had brought them there as an exercise. Hello, children. My name is Ibisu, and during the following weeks, I will teach you some exclusive that will define your chakra control. The blue chakra man announced. Chakra control is something important for young developing ninjas such as yourself. If you lack control, you won't be able to perform ninjutsu. But enough talking. Let's go with the exercise. Ebisu said nothing that most of the children paid him now more attention. How many of you could able to climb the tree? Ebisu asked while mentioning to the large tree behind him. Everybody raised their hands just as expected. Time to drop the bomb. And how many of you are able to climb it without using your arms? All of them had their hands raised, lowered them, and started to mutter among themselves in confusion. That's impossible, somebody said. Oh, it's very possible. Just look at me, Ebisu said as he started to walk on the tree as if gravity had no effect on him. The kids looked at him like in awe. Such to the special of Jonin delighted. Such to the Jonin's delight. In order to do this, you must gather chakra at the bottom of your feet. But be careful, too much chakra and you will be pushed away from the tree, and too little chakra you will fall off. Now choose a tree to climb and begin. The kids split in several groups, and since the trees were wide enough for several people to climb them at the same time, Naruto stayed with Hinata and Haku, while Sasuke, Karin, and Takami chose the same tree as Sas Sakura, Karin, and Tamaki chose the same tree as Sasuke. Although this is going to be a piece of cake, Naruto explained as he started to. Alright, this is going to be a piece of cake, Naruto explained as he started to climb the tree without much difficulty. This naturally draws some attention. Hey, how did you do it at your first try? An annoyed Kiba asked, "Easy, I already did this exercise with mom, and her method were way more extreme." Flashback. After much attempts, Naruto managed to nail down the climbing exercise without effort. Look, mom, I did it! Naruto proudly said. Huh? Much to the Jinchuriki's confused, Tsunade was completing a bottle on the base of the tree. Tsunade was emptying a bottle on the base of the tree, and then the slug Sannin tossed a light on a light match, setting the base of the tree ablaze. What the hell? A frantically freaked out Naruto yelled. Climbing is easy enough with practice. Staying in place for prolonged time, not so much. Tsunade calmly explained, ignoring the protest of his adopted son. I want you to stay like that for 5 minutes. The fire is to make sure you are motivated enough not to fall. In the end, she had to buy me a pair of new pants. Naruto recalled, rubbing his butt. It's still feeling some phantom pain, but on the bright side, my chakra control improved a lot. Even if his training with his Abusa was brief, it helped Haku to complete the exercise in no time. Hinata was the last one of their little group who managed to reach the top of the tree after almost an hour of trying. Other people who managed to climb we managed to complete the exercise in a record time, where Shakura and much to Naruto's amusement, Sasuke was having a lot of trouble with the exercise. He managed to climb very far on his first try, but he proceeded to at the progressed at a rather slow pace. It was a delicious irony that the prodigy, being outlasted by one of his fangirls, Kiba, Shikamaru, Karin, Choji, and Tamaki, weren't having an easy time either. After an hour and a half, Ebisu dismissed the clan, congratulated those who completed the exercise, and gave those pointers to an encouragement to those who didn't. Still, after a week, the whole class all was able to master the tree climbing exercise. Hokage's office. Shortly after his educational reform, many people met Jiraiya to protest how much he had raised the standard at the academy, increasing the number of students who failed to pass from one cause to the next, and most times they were forced to drop out. Most of the time, it was furious parents, most of them civilians, who demanded him to return the academy the way it was. Less frantically, it was an teacher who complained about either being overworked for the children failing to grasp their lessons. However, this was first time a ninja, a jonin no less, requested an audience with the Hokage to discuss the topic. The man in question was tall and well built, with extremely thick eyebrows and a ridiculously bold bald haircut. He was wearing a green jumpsuit under a tuning white jacket and orange leg warmers. Despite his rather bizarre appearance, this man was one of Konoha's strongest jonin and Konoha's greatest taijutsu specialist. Maito guy, I don't believe we have ever talked to each other after I got this position. Joraiya eyed the green colored Jonin. While Guy was known for his extravagant and obnoxious opinion behavior, now he looked the complete opposite. What do I owe this visit? I believe you have a problem with my educational reform, though I fail to see why. You see, I met one of the academy students not long ago. Guy began. He was crying his eyes out since he dreamed to become a ninja, but now he sees that dream crumbling in dust. You see, for some reason, the kid is unable to use ninjutsu again nor genjutsu. I believe you see where the problem lies. Jiraiya claps his fingers. I believe I do. I believe I do. That kid's condition is mostly unfortunate, but maybe he isn't much to be a ninja. There are plenty of ninja who are forced to retire after suffering certain injuries. This case isn't that different. Listen, Hokage-sama, give that kid a chance. While my case wasn't the same, I was stuck at the ninjutsu and genjutsu. I also sucked at ninjutsu and genjutsu for a long time. That's why I focused on taijutsu. I believe that kid can also follow my footsteps and become a ninja with only taijutsu. That kid has lots of potential. His flames of youth can burn brighter than mine. Joraiya sighed. I understand your replied, Guy. I really do, but my stance on academy is non-negotiable. I believe that ninjutsu is an important part of being a ninja. So unless that kid can develop a level of taijutsu impressive enough in order to consider it done, Guy suddenly said. Joraiya was left stunned after a few seconds. He blinked a couple of times before he could really what reply. What? He lamely replied, "You are going to say that the kid needs a level of taijutsu impressive enough to make sure his defense is right?" The guy asked. Joraiya just nodded. "Then leave him to me. I will train him personally so his taijutsu reaches a level unheard of on an academy student." Okay, you can take that kid under your wing, but please don't neglect your duties as a jonin when you train that brat. Never. That would be most unyouthful. Thanks for being so understandable, Hokage-sama. I promise that you will not regret this decision. Guy loudly declared before he left a few weeks later. Once again, Ebisu took Naruto's class out to the academy, this time to a training ground 19, which had a rather large lake. He also told them to begin bring swimsuits since they would need it for the next part of the exercise. Okay, all of you already completed the tree climbing exercise, and I hope that you kept practicing on your own. Now I believe it's time to take it to the next level, Ebisu said, and without further ado, he started to walk on water. Once again, the kids stand in awe. Now, this exercise is a bit harder than the tree climbing due to the fact that a tree is solid and water is liquid, which means that you will need a considerable strength of chakra for your feet to stay on the surface and such, and opposed to a fixed amount of chakra. Avisuk explained as he returned to the grass. The goal of this exercise is to walk 10 meters into the water and back to land. Come on, begin. Did you master this exercise already? Naruto-kun Haku asked. Nope, I am still trying. It was way harder than it sounds. It's way harder than it sounds. Naruto moaned. Well, Ebisu Sensei made it sound as if it was rather hard to begin with. Hinata mentioned. It's still harder than it sounds. Fortunately, Mom cannot set the water on fire. Naruto grinned, but his grin was soon replaced by a mask of content terror. Yet. Unlike the tree climbing exercise, nobody was able to master water walking on their first tries. Those who managed to do the best, unlike thinking first, walked just a mere 2 or 3 meters, while those who were having the hardest time did not manage to land a single step without sinking. Naruto and his classmates took another additional 2 weeks to master this exercise, but much to their surprise, the exercise did not end there. Once they all could walk on water in an acceptable way, Ebisu released the next part of the training. Taijutsu spar while on water. A ninja has to prepare to fight anywhere. There will be times in which there will be times in which a battle will take place on a lake, on a river, or even at the high sea. Besides, this will improve your chakra control even further. The blue-capped special Jonin enthusiastically exclaimed as he adjusted his shoulders. So, who wants to go first? Naturally, Naruto and Sasuke were the first ones to volunteer. The two trunks chat. The two swimming trunks cla- ch- clad ninja students placed in front of each other. Near them was Ebasu, who was overseeing the fight. Being the special Jonin said, made a chopping motion with his hand. Prepare to get your ass kicked. Naruto shot a taunting smile at Sasuke. The Uchiha merely growled back, come on, Sasuke-kun, Sakura cheered from the lakeshore. Kick his ass, Naruto said in Ino's voice, much to Naruto's bewilderment. Naruto immediately dashed at Sasuke and launched a punch at his face. The Uchiha dodged the first and, taking advantage of Naruto being wielded wide open, punched him in the gut. The hit messed up Naruto's chakra control and sank into the water. He managed to get back on his feet a few minutes later, as you can see, remaining on top of the surface while fighting entails some difficulty, but with enough practice it will become natural to you. Ebisu explained. Then he looked at Naruto, ready to continue. You can bet your glasses I am. Naruto replied, not taking his eyes off Sasuke. It's that if that's the case, let's continue. Naruto once again dashed at Sasuke, ready to punch him in the face. Sasuke already moved to dodge the first like he did the first time, but in the second rather than a punch, Naruto kicked Sasuke on the hip instead. This time it was Sasuke who was who lost it was Sasuke who lost his balance and fell into the water. Ha! However, that idiot Naruto taunted at his fallen opponent. Naruto, Don't do that. This is a friendly spar between classmates. There's no necessity to be rude, Ibisu said in chiving tone. And Naruto frowned at him, but nodded neither the less. The spar were usually so short, sometimes in favor of Naruto, sometimes in Sasuke's favor, though at one point Sasuke decided to get serious and activate his Sharingan. The following spar were all on by Sasuke. Seeing this, Evisu decided to end the spar and asked if somebody wanted to fight Sasuke. Instead, only one person raised his hand. I believe I can defeat Sasuke-kun. Haku started as he walked towards the Uchiha while Naruto returned to the land and with the others. Haku studied his arrival before Evisu gave the sign to start. The Uchiha Sharingan remained active. Begin! Just like with Naruto, Haku dashed at Sasuke, ready to strike him, but just when he was about to punch him, Haku then Haku then Haku then planed into the mid-air. Much to the Uchiha's surprise, Haku gracefully landed behind Sasuke and attacked his leg and quickly a quick low kick. Sasuke lost his balance, but his chakra control didn't falter him this time, and it didn't sink into the water. Jumping back on his feet, Sasuke tossed a series of punches and kicks at Haku, who moved back while dodging them. Those eyes, Haku mentioned. What about them? Never saw a Sharingan before, Sasuke replied mildly irritated. I was talking about your eyes, not your bloodline limit. Haku explained. Those eyes are the same eyes I used to have. Those eyes of somebody who is angry at the world. Did something happen to you? Of course, that question was most likely an act of politeness. Haku knew too well the fate of the Uchiha clan. That's none of your business. Haku yelled at the hit Sasuke yelled as he hit Haku in the chest with a flying kick. Haku nearly lost his footing and sank, but his chakra control remained strong. You can tell me, Haku instructed as he and Sasuke traded some punches. You know my background. I lost loved once, and I have been betrayed by people I thought they loved me. It's because of what your clan did. I said, shut up! Sasuke shouted as he hit Haku in the jaw. This time, the Ice Ninja was unable to stay in the surface and sunk into the water. Okay, I believe that was enough. Sasuke Haku, go back to the land, Ebisu said. Does anybody else want to spar on water? Me. Sakura said, raising her hand. I believe the best chakra control here. I have the best chakra control here, so this shouldn't be hard. I'm glad for your eagerness. Sakura, does anybody want to fight her? Ebisu said, looking at the rest of the student. Me said a soft voice. Hinata was raising his hand. Alright, then come here, stand in front of each other and begin. Both Konoichi took a fighting stance. Hinata activated her Byakugan. Sakura was the first one to attack. Just like Naruto with Sasuke, she tried to punch Hinata in the face, but the Hyuga they went backwards, avoiding the fist. Hinata then diverted a palm strike to Sakura's belly. While her chakra control was really good, Hinata's gentle fist momentarily distracted her chakra, making her to sink in the water. Boy, that hurt. Sakura mourned, rubbing her belly. Sorry, Sakura-chan. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. I would be stupid to be mad at you for hitting me during a spar. And how did you bend you back like that? It's like you're made of rubber. The gentle fist requires a lot of body. Is elasticity, Hinata explained. Well, and now I know what not to do. Come on, let's continue. Upon getting a taste of the gentle fish, Sakura decided to be more careful and plan her strikes better. She adopted a defensive stance, surprising Hinata to get into an offensive. Both girls spend quite some time fighting, Sakura leading Hinata attack, dodging or praying her blows, and waiting for an opening in order to counter attack. Unfortunately, Hinata managed to hit her first with the gentle fist again before that could happen. The spar continued for another 5 minutes, in which Hinata landed another gentle fist strike at Sakura, making her paint to give up. Takanaki then volunteered to fight Hinata as she returned to the solid ground. Sakura never felt so humiliated. She was hoping to impress the class with her skills, and more especially Sasuke. Yet all she did was make a fool of herself. I was shocking how such a sweet, shy, and gentle girl like Hinata could pick such a mean punch. Anyways, that was just a minor setback. She was still the best Kunoichi of the class, and nothing was going to change that, or that was she thought. Meanwhile, the rest of the class was the two girls pair. At the moment, Naruto was approached by Shikamaru. Man, I can't understand how are you so eager to fight the Uchiha. He always ends up beating you. Shikamaru mentioned, he didn't beat me, that's bad. At least until he activated his Sharingan, but without it, we are practically much equal. Naruto protested as if trying to prove something. I know, but I doubt he won't want to use the troublesome Sharingan again if he sends but I doubt he won't want to. He wouldn't want to use that troublesome Sharingan again if he saw he was losing. And trust me, and truth be told, I don't see you doing anything about it. Naruto looked at Shikamaru puzzled. He did not understand what he meant by that. I don't think I am following you. Sasuke defeated you because after activating his Sharingan, you keep fighting him in the same way as before. If you see something doesn't work, try something different instead. It's a basic strategy. The lazy Nara explained. Naruto seemed to understand. Thanks for the advice. So, you think you should be able to beat Sasuke then? Hell nah. Even if I come up with a strategy to circumvent the Sharingan, I don't have the strength nor the skills to match him in pure taijutsu. Of course, there was the fact that Shikamaru's father killed Sasuke's mother, and Sasuke might feel like wanting to revenge by poor Roxy. But that was something Shikamaru preferred not to bring up. Not Don't listen to him, Naruto Kiba said, walking towards them. He thinks strategy is the key to everything, but a big brain couldn't protect him from the fist to the face. Being strong and fast, well, I would I would tell you why you are so wrong, but honestly, that would take too much effort for such a little gain. For such little gain, Shikamaru lazily replied. Next Whisper, I will fight Sasuke instead of Naruto, and I will overwhelm him with my superior strength and speed. You will see. Keep up posted. If that was true, it would happen already, yet you can barely touch Sasuke. Shikamaru depended. That's the past. My mom has been training me way harder now, and once I get my dog Sasuke won't stand a chance. Shikamaru merely rolled his eyes at Kiva's boastering. Konoha Hospital. After a long stay at the hospital, Hiruzen Sarutobi was finally decided to be in good condition to be released. Still, that didn't seem his recovery was complete. Far from it. In fact, the doctors pretty much forced him to use a wheelchair for some time, since they told his body was way in fair state and couldn't afford to make any unnecessary effort in order to spend his speed his recovery. It's a good. It's a good thing. Finally get out of this hellish place. Hiruzen said in his pleasant companion. If I knew hospital food was so bad, I had done something about it a long time ago. I need to talk with Joraya about this. His companion choked. Unfortunately, I believe my husband has more pressing matters to attend to at the moment. Not that I don't agree. The weeks I have spent here weren't pleasant to me either. I need to tell Shizune more often how much I appreciate her cooking. Shizune mentioned as Tsunade mentioned as he pushed Hiruzen's wheelchair. You are upset that you couldn't apply to become Hokage. Why are you upset that you couldn't apply to become Hokage? What? Hell no. People may think that being Hokage is glorious, but I know that the Kages are merely glorified Brooks writes, if Naruto knew what he was going to get was getting into, I doubt he will want to become the Hokage. Tsunade replied in this gun. Come on, it's not that bad. Hiruzen protested. Yeah, I'm starting to think that you want one of us to replace you the moment Jiraiya and I return to the village. I'm starting to think that you wanted one of us to replace you the moment Jiraiya and I return to the village. I won't deny the I wouldn't deny that thought crossed my mind, but I know for a fact that you would have rejected my offer. Plus, Naruto needed way more than a village, or you needed you way more than the village, and you will be overwhelmed. I thought that maybe once Naruto graduated and became a ninja, I could retire and leave the hat to one of you. Sadly, things never turn out as planned. I am afraid of what will happen if Naruto becomes a ninja. He will eventually leave the village to do missions and will only have his teammates and his sensei to protect him. And what is your plan to keep Naruto inside the underground bunkers for yourself or for a bunker for your forever? First, don't mock the bunker. It became quite handy to protect Naruto and the twins when the one-eyed maniac attacked. And second, even if I knew I can't protect Naruto forever, I can't help but worry about him. Understandable, it was inevitable that after all these years, you will, after all these years being his legal guardian, you will end up growing fond of the kid. Mother, I didn't spend so much time changing diapers, cleaning vomit, and becoming unable to sleep at night to be considered his legal guardian. Thank you. That was a good thing indeed. Hiruzen said, smiling. He is smiling. So you said that your attacker claimed to be the man behind the Kiwi attack, right? Correct. That man had both the Sharingan and the wood release, plus his teleportation ability would explain how he managed to avoid all the security measures and barriers you said while Kushina gave birth. To think that that man could just teleport one day and mask Naruto away and whisk Naruto away, he won't do that. Hiruzen started. How can you be so sure? Easy. Both times he tried to get the QA. Both times he had to wait for the right moment. The first one was Kushina's, but the second was the Uchiha in Kudeta. He cannot just teleport in the middle of Konoha in broad daylight. Besides, he should know where Naruto should be first. I'm sure that his spies should have much more can't reach that far. Spies some should have some don't reach that far. I'm sorry. There's just a lot of mistakes in grammatical, alright, and spelling. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, let's begin again. Let's hope you're right. Still, I cannot let my guard down. I never said you should. While they walked, or better said, Tsunade walked while she pushed Charutovi's wheelchair. Many townspeople and ninjas stopped and congratulated Charutovi on his recovery as well as wishing him a good time now that he was retired. This made the old ex-Hokage realize that all the time he spent locked up in that office, he hardly had any time to enjoy the village he protected. Still, he couldn't stop protecting it nevertheless. By the way, what are you going to do now that you're retired? Since Tsunade asked, I don't know. Honestly, though, I thought that maybe I could help Jiraiya a bit and become his advisor. So I'm sure he can use your wisdom. and with your helping when you helping him, his workload will be. Tsunade interrupted herself when she realized something and frowned. You are going to help him so he can become more. You are going to help him so he can have more time to write those perverted books, right? Hiruzen smiled at her inconstantly. Tsunade, do you have any idea how long I have been a wider how long I have been a reader? As long as Naruto is alive, I may be old, but even man my age have certain needs. Tsunade cleared in disgust. Thank you for the mental image, Sensei. Sarutobi merely chuckled in return. Wow, so Sarutobi wants to help him so that the book comes out early. Nice. But yeah, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. That being said, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.